Hello, everyone. This is the greatest travel podcast in the universe. I'm your host, Fraser LeVay, inspireTravelEat.com for all your travel and food and inspirational needs. Check out that site if you ever need. And today, I'm going to talk about my favorite place on earth. It's truly the greatest stretch of land I've ever been around. It is Havasupai Falls. If you've ever been, you know what I'm talking about. I've had debates with people who've been, and I boldly said, I think it's the greatest place on earth. And someone's like, well, no, but this and that. And then they kept on going. And I was like, no, like, see, exactly. The beauty is unparalleled. Like some people think it's just one waterfall or maybe two waterfalls. No, there's like multiple falls, and the one that isn't even the main one is the best one in Mooney Falls. When you walk up at the top of Mooney Falls and you look over the valley, like the Jurassic Park theme song just starts playing in your head. It's absolutely unreal. Um, One of the coolest sights you'll ever have. Then you hike down like Mooney Falls, down the little like sketchy cave walkway. That's an experience. And then when else are you just cut off from civilization? Your phone doesn't work down there. You get water from a spring that's a hose into the side of a cliff face, which is unreal. You camp next to these little streams of the most beautiful blue turquoise water you've ever seen. The hike is gruelingly hard. The amount of hiking you do is a ton. So you have that feeling of accomplishment, and the confluence, when you hike to the confluence on its own, is spectacular. So literally it's got a bunch of things that nowhere else can offer. It's truly just like surreal. You have to go. It has to be the number one bucket list thing you ever do. I've been lucky enough to do it a bunch of times, and every time I say I'm not going to go back after hiking out because hiking out was awful, but anyone can do it. Be prepared. Not only are you hiking 10 miles in and out with a 40-pound, 50-pound backpack on, but then when you're down there, you do another, like, I don't know, 8 miles. Yes, 8 miles minimum round trip to Beaver Falls. So you're doing that. And then another 17 and a half miles on top of that if you hike to the confluence, as well as just hiking all around the camp down to Mooney Falls on top of that. So overall, you're going to hike 30 to 50 miles over the span of 3 days. So be prepared. I guess it's 4 days because it's 3 nights, right? That you get. Um, so I've got a ton of answers for your questions that I'll go through on how to get permits, what to pack, what to do, some secrets, all that kind of stuff. Before you start planning, make sure you get a permit before going. Every February 1st, I think at 8 a.m., they do the lottery online. It's always a crapshoot. Right now, people are furious because they canceled a lot due to COVID, so they're overbooked. Right now, it's a messy time to book down there, let me tell you that. They keep on kind of updating their reservation platform. So you may just want to go to the website right now and see what the new method is, because it's changed a lot over COVID and since, and with the cancellations, and they don't refund everyone, so they're rebooking people from 2021 still. Anyways, it's a mess. But I think there also is like some cancellation things you can get on there as well right now. So always check out the site. Who knows, you might get lucky. And even before this, the website was always crashing. Like you'd be on at 8 a.m. and not get through till 10 a.m. But I think the website's gotten better. But anyways, the tickets are one of the hardest things to get in the world. I don't know about in the world. They're just really hard to get. You can go to my website for like the website of Havasupai Falls and their phone number and everything else if you want to read all this and just have it on hand at all times. InspireTravelEat.com and just search Havasupai. I've got how to hike to every single spot, as well as a whole packing list article and that sort of thing. Also, at the end of this, I'll go through a complete pack list for you. I'll try and zip through so you're not wasting too much time listening to me. Um, there's also a lodge down there that costs a lot more than it used to. I don't recommend the lodge for two reasons. One, it's like 2 miles from Mooney Falls, either round trip or each way. I think each way. So I mean, you're going to add every day an extra 2 miles to get to Mooney Falls, and then you hike down and all that kind of stuff. So that kind of sucks. Two, the camping is the best part. Not the best part. It's one of the best parts. Just being next to the stream and outside and like surrounded by the caves. Oh my God, it's one of the most beautiful. It's probably the most beautiful place you might ever camp in your life. So even if you don't like camping, make it happen. Just you have to do it. It's amazing. So, there's a couple options. You can hike with your pack. You can helicopter in, or you can have mules take your bags down. I'm not someone to push doing things the hard way. Like, I don't really care too much, but in this instance, do it the hard way. Pack your stuff, because another part of this is that sense of accomplishment when you get out of the canyon and you get to your car. Like, it is grueling. It is tough. Every time I'm like, I'm never doing this again. But wow, like the feeling that you'll have, the emotions. A friend of mine, she like burst out into tears when she got to the top. It's just an experience that you'll do once in your life. So all this pain, the hike, you can stop many times if you want, but like you'll never have to do it again. So do it this one time. Challenge yourself this one time with the bag, everything. Do it. I believe in you. Everyone can do it, unless you're like really, really unable to for medical reasons. But you have to do it. Don't use the mules. Don't helicopter. You've got it. So helicopters are offered daily. You can go to my website for more info on that. I'm not going to talk about it because I don't believe in it. So there. But you can. And if, like I said, go to my website if you want to read more how to do that. Pack horses, same thing. And they're really expensive. I think pack horses now are like $400-$500 for your bag. Maybe 200 for your bag. I think it's like 200 plus for per bag, which is insane. How to get there? Google it. It's very Google mappable. Havasupai Falls Trailhead or Havasupai Trailhead. Um, Also download Google offline maps. So you'll want to do that because you do lose service. So that way, at least you just have the map of the directions. If you do lose service when you're hiking down there or what have you, it's pretty easy to find. I mean, it's a trail the whole way and there's signs so you won't get lost. But still, you can do that just in case. That's one of my tips for you there. And then when you get down, remember a huge thing you have to remember. I'll tell you in 2 minutes because it comes right after this part. But directions to there, from Phoenix, it's 4.5 hours. A tip I've got is to stay at. I'll get there. Where is? So yeah, once you get to Seligman, it's another hour and a half, 90 miles to the trailhead. So it's not that far, and it shouldn't take an hour and a half. But this is the most wildlife infested stretch of road I've ever seen in my entire life, and that's not an exaggeration. Every time I've gone, there's been a car wrecked by an elk. Like every time I've gone, I've had people hop in my vehicle that I've had to take. I've seen tow trucks taking people away nonstop. It's for real. There's cows, like millions of cows everywhere. I think I've killed 10 rabbits, unfortunately. It wasn't my fault. They're just everywhere. So drive the speed limit on this road. I promise you, especially at night, there's animals everywhere. So know that. You can also stop at Seligman for a bite to eat or drinks the night before if you're going to sleep at the top of the trailhead. Where to stay the night before. I'll give you the options. One, you can sleep in your car at the trailhead. Not very comfortable. There's also nowhere to really pitch your tent if you want to set up. You can like way further up the road off the side of the road if you want to. But I'm going to tell you this. If you're not a big camper, you're already there for 3 nights. this night before, don't make it a fourth hard night if you don't have to. Like, you want to be decently rested, sleep in a decent bed, all that kind of stuff. People really get stupid excited to leave early, like at 4 or 5 a.m. to hike down. Not necessary. Unless it's a super hot, but I've hiked when it's super hot. It's fine. In the middle of the summer. Yeah, but they have just this excitement to, oh, we have to get there. We have to leave at 3, 4 a.m. It's like, you don't. You definitely don't. There's only so many passes they sell. Lots of people are leaving the day you're coming in, so that you're not going to miss out on anything. And you're already going to be there for 3 nights, 4 days, and 3 nights sleeping on like a little blow up. If you're not like a super camper, that's a good amount. So what I'm saying is 2 options I've done that I like more. I've done the car sleeping, I've done the camping, I've done these 2 other options as well, which is there's a hotel, Hulapai Lodge, and another lodge are in Seligman, or like an hour and a half from the trailhead. So sleep in a nice bed the night before, have a good dinner, have some drinks, fall asleep, and then head to the trailhead at 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 a.m. I would go at like 7 or 8, maybe 9. But of course, you can go earlier if you're one of those people. Totally fine to do that. The other option is waking up in Phoenix, if you're coming from Phoenix or Vegas, wherever you're coming from, in your own bed or in a hotel there at like 4 a.m. and driving and being at the trailhead at 8 a.m. So that way you still kind of, I guess 4 a.m. is tough, 5 a.m., 5 or 6 a.m. Even you can show up at the trailhead at 9 or 10. That's fine. Because it only takes a couple hours to hike in. You're there by 1-ish. Totally. It's great. All I'm saying is take your time. You're there for 4 days. It's going to be uncomfortable. So don't think you have to like rush, is my point. So that's that. Drive slow on Indian Road 18. That's what the road's called. Indian Road 18. I don't know if you've ever seen a bull elk before. I had not. It was a goddamn brontosaurus. I had my sunroof open and I was driving at night and I looked over and it was above me staring down at my sunroof. It was the biggest thing I've ever seen. It was a giraffe. It was a giraffe and a brontosaurus in the shape of a deer. I couldn't believe it. So again, drive safe. Oh, I have my notes here. One time there was 50 cattle on the road. And I saw about 55 rabbits. Oh, I only hit one. So let's not talk about that anyways. But me driving the speed limit says a lot. Drive the speed limit. So the night before, I told you what to do there. What time of day to travel to the trailhead? I also mentioned that. So you're there for a while. I don't know. You don't have to be the 4 or 5 a.m.ers, 3 a.m.ers at all. Time of the year is the best to go to Havasupai Falls. Spring and fall are great. The winter is okay. The temperature of the water doesn't really change that much at all. It just kind of stays the same temperature. But obviously, I think they close for a bit in the winter. Summer can be rough hiking in and out because of the heat. You do want to be careful during the rainy season, which is like March is pretty rainy, as is August. There's lots of what are they called? I can't remember. Anyways, they will close when there's flash floods. And if I could just think of what a goddamn rain shower is called, I would be able to help you out. But yeah, sometimes your entire trip can be rained out because like there'll be a flash flood down there, or the water will be muddy, which, oh my god, that would suck. I've seen it be muddy where after a couple days it clears up. So hopefully you get lucky if you do get one of those rainy times where it goes from that turquoise to just the brown mud. So cross your fingers for that. It doesn't happen a ton, but just be aware. Is there food down at Havasupai Falls? There is. There's actually a concession right in Supai Village that has a ton of stuff. There is a convenience store for things, and then there are typically 2 to 3 food tents above Havasu Falls, and I think sometimes one even at the bottom in the campground that they sell fry bread, breakfast, sodas, other snacks. They close around 5:30 typically and are cash only, so definitely bring cash. I typically will bring just enough food, maybe a little bit less to enough to survive down there. And aside from that, I'll just buy food because their food down there is amazing. Obviously, you don't want to pack a ton of stuff and all that. Hiking itinerary. Before we start, I'll stress 2 things. No egos. This can be a grueling hike. Many people who do this aren't tenured hikers or campers. So in your group, make sure everyone's just as happy as possible. Take stops and breaks. Don't feel bad for telling your friends you need a water break. Don't try and be a hero. It isn't a race. The goal is to enjoy paradise, which leads me to number 2, which I said a little bit earlier. But relax and take your time. You came here on this trip to unplug, connect to nature, and you truly don't have a care in the world there. So never be back again. So take as much time as you can, not the other way around. Don't sprint back to the campground each day just to sit around as it gets dark. Take your time and explore, lay in the water, and just take in as much of the daytime as you can and relax. Also, there used to be fires were not allowed. Then the last time I went, they're allowed. Now I'm hearing they're not again. So something to check into. Maybe bring a lighter just in case, and you can kind of burn the dead wood that's down there. But you'll find out when you're down there, I guess. But it's always great, obviously, if you can make a fire because that's just a great time. The itinerary, day 1, exciting day. And you hike the 8 miles to Supai Village. You check in down there, and then 2 more down to the campground. The first mile and a half is really steep decline. It's just like if you've done Camelback Mountain in Phoenix, it's basically doing that down and back up. And then you have another 8.5 miles to the campground. So, anyways, it's beautiful. The hike down is great. You won't even, it's hard, but the canyon you're in, the views, it's so pretty. You won't even notice the hike because it's just such a great experience. And you got the excitement of going down, all that kind of stuff. So then you walk in, you check in Supai Village. There's a couple actually convenience stores down there as well. You can buy some stuff. And once you're fueled up in Supai and you're checked in, you head 2 miles down to the campground. As you get closer and leaving Supai, the creek will appear and you get your first glimpse of the gorgeous water. A mile and a half down from Supai, you will come up to 50-foot falls and lower Navajo Falls on your left, which don't look like much from the trail, but you actually will want to walk back behind and you'll see 50-foot falls. And oh my God, they're stunning. You go back there on day 2 or day 3 and just spend a ton of time there. It's absolutely gorgeous. Feel free to go take a picture at the start, but you need to come back there and spend a half day at those falls at some point or a quarter day, whatever that is. There's also some secret spots in the falls. You can find them, little grottos, caves, that kind of stuff. So with having 3 nights, I would come back, to 50-foot falls on the second day, explore around, and maybe get dinner in town since it's a little bit closer, and you may want a good warm meal for your second or third day. So then, you pass 50-foot falls, Navajo Falls, and you head down, and on your right, you will see Havasu Falls, one of the main falls. Well, I guess the main falls in the pictures, even though I think Mooney Falls are better. Havasu Falls on your right, jaw-dropping, gorgeous. Get a little picture next to them at the top, and then keep on going down to the campground. My suggestion is to get a campground further away from Havasu Falls because you're closer to Mooney Falls. There'll be maybe less people, more open spots. You can cross the river, but just try and get as close to the water as you can because it's beautiful. So don't take the first campsite you see. Definitely take your time and try and find the best one that you can for what you're looking for. So I would half set up your campsite and do the rest at night, and head to Mooney Falls, which is just at the end of the campground. And then if you have time, walk back to Havasu Falls, and get some pictures and lay in the water there. But yeah, if you you can hike down Mooney Falls the first day, which is stunning, and check that out. So do that, and then yeah, set up the rest of camp at night. Day 2, hike to Beaver Falls and maybe the confluence. So the reason you want to take pictures at Mooney the day before on day 1 is because day 2 you want to get to Beaver Falls and the confluence quickly. So you're not obviously spending time at Mooney taking more pictures and blah 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 and waiting for people to get out of the way. So you head to Beaver Falls, which is 4 miles each way. And packing tip, walking, hiking tip. I have these really good trail runners. I never wear hiking boots. I use trail runners everywhere. And I just go barefoot in them. Like they're good enough for barefoot. You can just do light socks, like real quick drying, quick whatever wicking, whatever it's called, socks, and just walk through the water. I've been with people who like take off their boots and then get in the water and then cross, and it's just so annoying. Just wear shoes that can get wet and walk through the water. You'll air dry or you'll be wet. It doesn't matter. You'll be fine because you cross the water a bunch and you don't want to have to keep on taking your shoes off. That's a huge tip. So, I think do Beaver Falls on day 2 because of the excitement and adrenaline and energy, where day 3 you're going to be a lot more tired and worn down from maybe not the greatest sleeps in your tent, or maybe you will have great sleeps. But regardless, use that energy and go to Beaver Falls and the confluence. So 8 miles from the campground to Beaver Falls, maybe have a little lunch, snacks, and then get an early start to Beaver Falls because the water is not warm at all, and the sun disappears pretty quick from the canyon. So you'll get there and you don't want to be there when the sun's not on you because it's super cold. So then you keep on hiking. There's some cliff jumping beyond Beaver Falls you can check out. And you just keep on going to the confluence, which is 17 and a half miles round trip. But really cool. Amazing. Go to the confluence. Again, if you want to see the exact trail on how to get there, it's simple to get there. There's a trail that'll take you the whole way. But it's basically where the Colorado River and Havasupai Falls meet. So yeah, do that. And it's beautiful. If you're terrified of heights, do not attempt going down to Mooney Falls. There's like the stairway, the infamous stairway to Mooney, which is not a stairway. It's chains and sketchy rock and slippery rock. Don't go down. There's many people who like turn back around, and you hold up everyone who's trying to get down or up. It's one-way traffic. So be very mindful of going down Mooney Falls because yeah, it's an adventure. So confluence, there's some falls in Beaver Falls, you can go underneath the falls, like a little secret cave. There's cliff jumping of all heights. The confluence, yes, another 17 and a half miles, as I mentioned, but there's some pictures on my site that are absolutely stunning. Check that out. And also the hikes full of like cliffs, walking in the water. You'll probably see bighorn sheep. There's giant fish typically in the confluence area as well, which are really cool. And just don't rush back. Enjoy your time there. That's the biggest thing. I've got a phone call I need to be on in 2 minutes, so I'll rush through day 3. It's a free day. Go play in the water, 50-foot falls, Navajo Falls, explore and eat in Supai. I kind of mentioned that before. And day 4 is relaxed day, pack up, hike to your car. I cannot stress enough, don't just leave. Like a lot of my friends have gotten up at 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. to just get out of there. It's like, again, this is your last time to ever be in paradise. Go relax in the water. Go take some pictures you may not have taken. When are you ever going to be back again? So take your time there and just enjoy it. Soak it all in for your last day. Maybe you'll probably ever be there. You'll probably never be there again. So enjoy it. Some tips. I think I gave you them all. It gets dark in the canyon early, so be sure you're up early and get your hiking in. I'm not an early bird whatsoever, but I think it gets dark at like 5. A creek fridge, you can block off with rocks a little section in the creek to keep your soda and water or whatever. There's no drugs or alcohol. I've seen people lose their alcohol or told they must go home in a very stern and scary way. So don't do that. Don't use brand new shoes. Make sure these are shoes you've tried before and it's footwear you've walked a lot in and worked in. Don't have brand new shoes for this hike and all of a sudden you've got blisters and all that kind of thing. I would take pictures of your hike on the way down because the mood on the way back will be less jovial and fun because you'll be in pain and dead tired. So you'll definitely not want to be like, oh, let's stop for this picture. Oh, let's stop for this picture. So do that on the way there. Take your time on the way there. Enjoy it. Take some cool pictures because on the way back, you're just going to want to get to your car because you're dead. Remember, you must pack in everything you pack out. Do not leave stuff down there. Don't be the assholes leaving like canisters of XYZ and propane and anything else. Bring everything back. Watch out for horses on the hike or the mules. They're like the taxis in Elf. They don't stop. So don't have AirPods in. They're coming in hot around corners. You'll hear them. So get out of the way. Flash flooding monsoon season. That was the word I was looking for. Monsoon happens in July and August. So be sure to check, as extremely poor weather will cancel your reservation. Summer months get 100 degrees or hotter. So bring lots of electrolytes and water. Winter months are cold, so pack accordingly. Try to avoid hiking in and out on the hottest parts of the day. Although with that said, don't let that push you from spending more time down at the falls and enjoying your time. I gotta get on this phone call, but that's basically it. Enjoy your time. It's the greatest place on earth. InspireTravelEat.com. Fraser LeVay. Again, InspireTravelEat.com, and you can find everything for all the what to pack and all else on there. All right, talk to you soon.